Hello, I'm Joe Page, and this is my Fuel 2025 pitch for my business Zeitgeist. So, in this pitch, I will tell you all about Zeitgeist and the problems that I'm trying to solve with my business. Now, before we do that, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and my background. So, I was born in Middlesbrough and I studied at Teesside University fashion design, and I finished this May. One thing about me is I'm extremely passionate about clothing and technology. I also have a lot of experience freelancing, upcycling, and creating bespoke garments for clients all around the world. In 2024, I interned at the streetwear brand Summit UK, located right here in Middlesbrough. Working there, I got to see behind the curtain of how a business is run, which left me inspired to start my own. A rather modern issue of today is the problems that arise with the mass adoption of personal mobile devices. For example, the chronic use of social media within teenagers has shown links to depression, anxiety, and lower self-esteem. Short-form content such as TikTok and YouTube Shorts has also shown to reduce user cognition over time. Another concern is the unethical data collection laws. Tech companies extract our personal and private data, which they then sell to third parties, who they use for targeted advertising. So, for example, if you've ever Googled something and then a day later you get an advert for it on another app, or you say something and then a day later you'll get an advert for it. In my opinion, this is an infringement on individual privacy and it's unethical. Now let's talk about EMFs, also known as electromagnetic frequencies. So as time goes on and more research is being published within this field, there's been many studies indicating that long-term EMF exposure can cause negative harm to the body. Now I've listed a few here which I won't read out for time's sake, but you see that and you think that's quite worrying. But another side of you would think, is it this big of a deal? Are our phones actually doing this much harm to us? The WHO, or World Health Organization, in 2011 classified RFs and EMFs emitting from our mobile devices as a 2B potential carcinogen. If you would like more information about this, I will leave my contact details at the end of the presentation, and I can link some studies or give you some more information about it, because this information is quite daunting. So I've gave you all that information there, and you're probably thinking, how on earth does any of this relate to fashion or clothes in general? So I'm launching my company Zeitgeist, and that is the German word for spirit of the time. And the important distinction between my company and any other fashion brand is that we utilize precious metals within our textiles, such as copper, nickel, and silver, which creates a Faraday shielding effect for the wearer. Here's a list of the properties that my garments and accessories offer. I plan on creating a full range of products with varying levels of protection, in which the buyer has products tailored to their needs. So I'll now show this technology being used within clothing. Now, I have an EMF meter reader here, and as you can see, my mobile device is giving off high levels of EMF. If I was to place it in this side pocket here, it would just render the same result. However, this jacket I designed has an integrated Faraday pocket. Now if I place it in here, check that meter reader here, as you can see it's already went to 0, which blocks all telecommunication signals from your mobile device. After seeing a true application of this technology being utilised within clothing, I'll just give a brief rundown of this technology. So it was created in 1836 by Michael Faraday. He created the first Faraday cage, and as you can see, it's absolutely huge. And the sole reason for this invention was to isolate scientific experiments from external factors. Now, in terms of target customers, I believe that there's multiple avenues in which I could market this product. There are online communities and forums dedicated to discussing this subject, its risks, and also DIY projects that individuals take part in to reduce EMF exposure and also create a more mature relationship with their mobile devices, which I believe this brand has helped achieving. Zeitgeist offering this technology at an accessible price democratizes this necessity, as this technology is mainly utilized within special fields like the special forces or intelligence services who wish to protect their own data. A few key points I've put at the bottom of this slide is to think of these products as a wearable VPN, allowing the wearer to tap in and out of online connection at their disposal, meaning that they have more autonomy over their devices and having a more mature relationship with your personal tech. At first glance, a market for products like this can seem relatively niche, but the global EMF protection market is projected to hit $1.2 billion by 2030 and also has a 7% annual growth rate. I believe I'm an early adopter of this technology used within fashion, and I'd like to put my foot through the door, so to speak, to open up the market in the UK. Pictured here on the screen is a volleyback full metal jacket priced at almost £2,500, made of silver. I can offer a jacket with this technology for less than a tenth of the price. So I plan on launching a direct-to-consumer website where customers can purchase a full range of clothing and accessories, offering varying levels of protection. I plan on implementing various methods of payment and alternative methods such as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, decentralizing the whole transaction. The possibilities really are endless with this technology. I can create jackets, bags, t-shirts, trousers, even sportswear. One of the textiles I use is a silver elastane blend, which is a very stretchy fabric while also being antimicrobial, antibacterial, and also having all of these Faraday properties. It's almost as if it's a miracle textile, offering just so many things and utilization. I plan on creating a business relationship with the suppliers of these textiles which reside in China. They're constantly innovating with these textiles and are upgrading the technology as time goes by. I also plan on working with Matthew Jones, who's also on this fuel program. He specializes mainly in 3D printing, and I'm hoping to create 3D printed footwear and accessories to go alongside this collection, just really having like futurism in clothing. Here's just a few examples of my previous work, including my graduate collection, some other side projects, and some upcycling that I've done for clients over the past few years. So in terms of support from Fuel, I'm politely asking for £6,000 worth of funding to help launch my business. A breakdown of these costs are just listed below. Pretty much the money will just go towards what I lost access to from finishing my university course. I heavily valued the studio space. I spent most of my time in there during my studies, whilst having side projects on and doing my university work. The bulk of the costs going primarily to a sewing machine, an overlocking machine, facilities for screen printing, rent for the studio space within Launchpad, which hopefully I can get access to, as well as a laptop for my freelancing work and prototyping and sampling for my collections. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch my presentation. I hope you found it informative or at least interesting. I also want to thank Teesside University and Fuel for giving me this opportunity and experience of these 7 weeks. I want to thank Scott and Lizzie for the support during this time as well. I have thoroughly enjoyed this course. I left my contact details here on this slide in case you would like more information about anything I have discussed in this presentation. Thank you very much.